Hi guys, just a quick one after what Belinda said earlier that it's not about there being a gender pay gap. That this journalist, Emmiline Saunders, who's supposedly from the Mail, has put in awkward moments. Louise Minchin shoots Dan Walker a dirty look as massive pay gap between the BBC presenters is revealed. So she starts off, that basically he's paid between 200 and 250,000 essentially, and making all of this saying that he gets paid more than her for doing the same job. But coming down to the fine print, what actually happens is that she only works 3/4 of the days that he does. Therefore, and she's on between 150 and 200,000. He's on between 200 and 250,000. So you're actually looking at, so potentially for the same amount of hours worked, that he is actually being paid less than her. But that's not being pointed out in this article. So the reality is that this female presenter is working less time than him. She's working 3/4 of the time that he is. And so he gets paid more because he works longer. It's not about the money, and it's not like, oh, he gets paid this much, she gets paid this much. She works less. She works 3/4 of the time that he does. Therefore, she gets paid less. But this reporter is trying to make out there's a pay gap because of some sort of implied gender relationship, which I think is totally disingenuous and just goes to show, yet again, more facts which prove that there isn't a gender pay gap, and even the information which is out there of people who are under the age of about 30 to 33, women are paid more than men. So it's actually turned around, but that's not being brought into the public domain, that boys and men who are coming up are actually being paid 10 or 15% less than women for doing the same jobs. And that's what is totally bogus, and that's the pay gap which is really in the economy. Whereas women she's chosen the same job, but she's not working as many days. She doesn't have the same hours that he does, so she gets paid less. It's simple. It's the choices they make. It's not about gender, but this Emmiline Saunders, who supposedly, well, she doesn't claim to be an impartial journalist, because I'm sure she isn't. She's coming out with this and in an ingenuous way, trying to make out to the readers of the Mail that there is some sort of gender bias, when in fact it's a gender bias against men and for women. So, thank you, Emmiline, for bringing this out and yet again debunking the myth of there being a female pay gap with women being paid less. You're helping to show that in reality it's men who are paid less for doing the same work. So thank you so much for coming out with this article. We really appreciate you helping to debunk the male to female difference, but actually helping to show that there is a female gender bias with women being paid more for the same work. So thank you, Emmiline. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for listening. So if you want to check this out, it's at mcn.com, and the original article is in the Mirror newspaper. So thank you so much, and see you all soon. Bye.